Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to break him down so that we can then put him into a nice presentation on the plate here for the meal. And you know, some people call this carving the turkey. I'm just going to call it breaking it down into sections that we can then break down even further. So this is just the basic breakdown of the turkey. And I do that by opening him up because he's still bloody hot. So we might have to pause this video after I open him up. He's been resting for 30 minutes. We're letting the juices set on him. And so that means he's still going to be very, very warm. So the first thing I'm doing here is just opening up the legs and the thighs from the body cavity. And then just move that aside. Like I said, it's hot. And we're following just a natural seam right here, right along the body. And you'll know if you're not lined up because you're actually cutting meat. This one I'm just cutting connective tissue as I'm coming across here. And you'll see him just open up nice and easy. And you're getting down to the joint there. You're just touching that joint. Getting that last little part there. I'll just continue to go until finally, see that knuckle right there? See that knuckle right there, and that's the last little vestige of what is holding this thing on here. Just carve around that knuckle with the boning knife, and he'll let go here in just a moment. There's a little tenon that holds that thing together there. So now we have the leg and the thigh, and we're just going to set that first one aside for right now. What we do is we do the same thing on the opposing side. Just turn this around so you can see a little bit better from a different angle. Again, we're just following this natural seam here, on back and in, along the pelvis of the bird. And you got to pull that leg back just a tad. And on through. See down in there. Again, we're down to that ball joint that we have to work around, get to that tendon that's right in the middle of that. And just come through there. And there's some excellent meat down there on the back that we're not cutting, so now we're just going to set this aside. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Now this is where it really gets warm. It's up here in the breast. I'm just going to open that up. There's a breastbone that runs right down the middle. And I'm going to go on both sides of that. And I believe, let's see, the wishbone is still in there. We'll come to that. I just want to get that to breathe. And people do it differently here on the wing. I come to the side. I'm just going to come straight across to the front, on the side, and I'll just take that down to the rib cage itself. Then just put a slice up here, and you'll see why in a few minutes when we get to that point. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. You can see that line I brought. What we're going to do is just cut straight across, down to the rib cage. wishbone. Just bring a nice line up here. Like so. Alright. Now, you can see that what we're going to do is we're just going to follow the rib cage down and just push that. There's a faster way of doing this, but you don't end up getting that nice big cut that I like to get off of here. And the rib cage, of course, curves around, and I'm just taking this boning knife and following that down. And there you can see the edge of the wishbone, the left side of that wishbone. We're just going to follow that so we can break that connection there. Again, we just follow that rib cage, push it.
Are those the pumpkin ones?
There we go. Here's that piece of meat. Just need to take this last little bit. And I want to keep that whole because that's going to be part of the presentation, the way I cut that up. Okay. So there's one breast. Set that aside. And while we're over here, again we follow the edge of the rib cage on up through the back, just like so. Just pull this, and you'll find that knuckle there, that joint. Just get in there, and there's a tendon that you have to break through. One wing, just set that aside. All right. We'll come back and pick up this meat. There's a great hunk of meat right here. Some of the most tender meat that we're not getting on the breast cut is right here by the wishbone. And we're going to come back and get that as well. See how I'm turning that knife. Follow that. Do that cut right along the wishbone so that separation is created. And just go in there and start pushing it away from the bone, and it'll separate. Do a little cutting here in the back as you go. Now you can see why I did those original cuts around the front and around the side, because I want that to come away as gentle as possible. Okay. There's that other breast right there. Now we'll go and get this wing. On this one, I'm going ahead and cutting that, showing you a different cut here to catch that back meat. This is very, very tender meat right there behind the wing. I guess that would be considered the arm of the bird, huh? Nice. Okay. There's that joint, that knuckle. We just come along that and cut through that tendon, and there's that other wing. All right, so this is what we're left with. Again, don't miss this meat right here on the breast. This is some tender meat right here by the wishbone. So let's go ahead and pull that wishbone out so you can see how that fixes in there. And that's the wishbone right there. You set that aside, boil it, pull the meat off from it, and then dry it out for the kids to pull apart. Alright. And this one, here's that tender meat I was talking about. Great stuff. A lot of people don't get this. You'll find it's quite tasty.
Eat it for dramatic effect.
No,
I'll eat it for
Go
dramatic
ahead.
effect.
kind of considered this for the cooks and such to enjoy. All right. So anyhow, on the back of this, I'm just going to clear this up. This is that back side I was talking about. Some great meat right there. Don't let that go to waste. You have some more around the ribs. You can go in and cut some of this off. It's great for soups. You want to just take the whole rib cage here after you're done cutting them up and throw them into a pot. Now, if you recall, I cut on the other side. I went ahead and took that back cut here by the wing, the armpit. I didn't on this side, so you can see how you just come back later on and just clean them up. And take this back meat here, like we did on the other side, right in front of the leg. Some great mixture of white and dark. It's kind of that, sits on that borderline, okay? So now, just gonna take a couple of these out. All right, so we're not gonna do anything with the wings right now. We're gonna break off. The first part of this we're gonna do is we're gonna do a presentation on the breasts and lay those out. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Nice slices for, I do these about 3/4 of an inch thick is my preference. You might have something you want to do a little thinner.
Very good. I got it. Which one comes on top? Which one do you take from it?
Slide it back up underneath, and then just like that, roll inside out. Inside.
Which one is weight? The little or the big one? That's not true. Yeah. Feel right one. Chicken wing. Get a little funky. There you go.
Other side,
Which sheet is...
roll inside out.
That's a lie, you liar. This one is the small
Right.
one. Which one insect is not one?
Now for effect, we're gonna give him some more
That's
here.
lie.
Cross hairs. Let's go ahead and separate our thigh from our leg.
Already pushed it.
Which body part? What body part does the boy use?
What you did it? Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're
Through the knuckles, one leg.
you speak out of your ear.
Just aside for the moment.
Yeah, put that one.
Okay, so your
I guess we done.
knuckle is going to be right here, right? So I'm just going to cut that just to show you how we move down to that.
You don't want to push it, huh? Correct.
Just aim across there. There we go. There's the other leg.
That one goes.
And tight. So now I take this meat off. I bone it out. And if you're on the inside of the thigh, you can see that the bone is right there, right? So that's what we're doing. Just following it. I'm going to get a different tool from there. That's all you're doing is you're just separating the meat from that bone. And again, I like leaving this together as much as possible.
What about the sequel?
For effect.
Which is it? The snake.
This is a little bird, so he's not as not going to give us as big of a thigh as I'd like to have at a dinner, but we'll make do with him. There, like so. Set that aside. Do the same thing here. Just follow that seam that's there, the natural seam. Same on birds as it is on any other big game animal. If you learn how to do a turkey, you can
Which one of these?
do an elk. The difference is being the breast meat is a little bit different too. Alright. So now we have two nice thighs here. Go ahead and slice that up. Some people just tear it apart into strips. I like some slices. You can get some nice slices out of this. Depending on how it's been cooked, it's going to determine how well it necessarily stays together. The idea isn't necessarily to keep it totally whole, but people will pick out the meat and just throw that in the middle. Same thing here. I like leaving the skin on because it helps hold things together. Kind of looks like a breast there, doesn't it? When you pull it off and break it down, it kind of looks like one of those breasts. That's the dark meat. Let's put that right here in the middle of everything.
Hey, the door's locked.
Yes, huh? It is, huh?
Make it look pretty. Don't use that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and just add the garnish.
I feel like you.
Give it a nice border here. Parsley,
I like this top.
bed of greens.
Show it in a bit more.
Yourself sprinkle that liberally around here. Personally, I like the taste of parsley. Here's something like this. And there we are. Voila.